I think in two languages, which means sometimes my brain is screaming at me in both of these languages. And let me tell you, not a pleasant feeling to be screamed at by your own brain. Well, I guess that comes with being an overthinker, but beyond that, I have a pretty busy life, so I need to have a way to function and complete my daily tasks, even when the only thing I want to do is just lie down and play some silly little game on my phone that will just silence the constant screaming of the little anxious Arisha in my brain. And yes, I know you're supposed to work on that in a healthy way, in a mindful way, to calm down your mind and blah blah blah. But what exactly are you supposed to do in the meantime when, let's say, you have to do the dishes, go do the groceries, do laundry, clean your room, and a billion other tasks, and you have like 4 hours for that? The correct answer would be something like sit down, write down your thoughts, what worries you, but that is a little impractical when you don't have the greatest luxury, time. And I'm not trying to sound like an obnoxious person saying, toughen up and just deal with it. No. What I'm saying is, this solution, although healthy and correct, is a little impractical. But I think I found the best solution for myself on how to silence out all of that screaming and function like a normal person throughout the day. Not the healthiest way, not the correct way, but a working one. I just listen to YouTube videos, like video essays. And when I'm doing the tasks that don't stimulate my brain enough for it to shut up, I just listen to these videos on the background and they distract me. My brain is not screaming at me anymore because it is focused on what is said in those videos. But most importantly, I learned that the video has to be good. Like, it has to be good content delivered with good storytelling skills. I cannot just watch top 10 facts about cats. I mean, maybe if you are interested in cats, it could interest you enough. I just never really cared for cats. Maybe I should try like top 10 facts about dogs. What was I talking about? Right. In the month of October, I've accumulated around 100 watched YouTube videos. I do lots of mundane tasks, so I need a lot of videos to watch. But I think I narrowed down the creators whose content makes my brain shut up and just work for whatever I'm doing. So I decided to share this incredibly invaluable information with the world so that we all can become a little more productive, a little less stressed, and a little less screamed at. So let's go through my favorite creators, channels, and videos to watch on YouTube so that my brain will shut up and focus. Disclaimer: I have no idea about the media presence of these people. I don't follow them. I'm not like a hardcore fan of them. If they ever said something stupid, something dumb and problematic, I do not sign my name under these words because I probably don't know that they exist. I just watch their videos when I see them on my feed. It is kind of funny that I just gave this disclaimer and the first creator I'm talking about is actually someone I follow and love, but whatever, my channel, my rules. Olisunvia or Olisunvia, I'm not sure. I think it's Olisunvia. First video that I watched from her was Our Concept of Love is Messed Up. And it immediately captured my attention because I think it was one of the first video essays that I saw that was actually heavily reliant on academic research and legit academic papers. So it had a really good backing on whatever she was saying. The video talked about our perception of love, how media influences that, how we view the relationships and how they should work, and what it means to love someone. And as interesting as that video was, it did kind of send me into a spiral at the time. But from that time, I kind of got a boyfriend and got into this incredibly healthy, nice, amazing relationship. So maybe that video was what prompted me to review my perception of relationships and love in general. So maybe I should give partial credit to her for my happiness now. The video that I really enjoyed watching in October, and I think I listened to it while I was doing my workout just recently, was When Mother is Not Mothering, the devaluation of motherhood. It explores the progressive growth and expectations that we impose on mothers and motherhood in general. The video talks about all these expectations and conditions for motherhood to be considered the correct way. She also talks about how these standards have been changing with the changes in our pop culture and in society, and how it corresponds to the current trends and political situation in different countries. What I really love about her video essays is that it's not just a recollection of some academic papers that you can read online. No, she actually takes a really interesting creative approach to the way she delivers information. And it's not even relying that much on the visual picture, but on the delivery and storytelling itself. For example, in the video when she's talking about motherhood, she talks about the perception of motherhood from the different feminist ideologies. And instead of just listing what each ideology thinks of motherhood, she goes outside of the frame, comes back in like a new outfit and says, "Hello, I'm a radical cultural feminist, and this is what I think about motherhood." And it's just one example, but you get the idea. The videos are very, very engaging. And also the fact that whatever the topic of the video is, she provides a really well-rounded approach to it, so from all the different perspectives, and I really love that. So the second channel that I really like to watch is PopCultureDetective, hosted by Jonathan McIntosh. I hope I'm saying the surname correctly. Although the videos on the channel generally revolve around anything pop culture related, mostly film, the main theme that is raised in most of the videos is toxic masculinity in media. And you might tell me, Arisha, there is so much content about the portrayal of men in cinema. Why would you want to watch something else? Hear me out. The thing is, this channel goes really into the detail of all the intricacies of the portrayal of toxic masculinity in media in the most unexpected ways. And for me, it was really interesting to watch someone speak about it, someone who experiences that firsthand, who was harmed by these representations firsthand. I particularly liked two videos that both revolved around Big Bang Theory. So the first one was the adorable misogyny of Big Bang Theory, and the second one was the complicity of geek masculinity on the Big Bang Theory. And I love these videos in particular because we have this pre-existing notion that toxic masculinity is linked to this frat boy who grabs a girl's butt and yells something mean and disgusting, sort of coming from this dominant position in society. But these videos provide a really interesting perspective on how not fitting these expectations of masculinity and maybe suffering yourself from toxic masculinity and its expressions does not absolve one of presenting some misogynistic tendencies. It's very insightful, and the guy is a great storyteller. I didn't notice how I did like 2 days worth of dishes when I was watching these videos. So the next channel I don't know much about because I only watched one video from it, but it was a very impactful video. And the name of the video is Child Stars, The Dark History of Hollywood Golden Age. And it is about the child exploitation in media and in film, specifically in Hollywood. I wouldn't say I enjoyed watching this video. It was definitely not an enjoyable experience to hear about all these things. But it was very insightful. And with the rise of momfluencers and parents posting their children all over TikTok, it was very interesting to trace back this exploitation of kids and turning kids into brands to market on social media and in media in general, to trace it back to its origins. Listening to this video really gave me the scary realization of how long this had been happening and how, despite all the regulations and laws and everything, kids are still being subjected to this exploitation in media. Don't get me wrong, I was never a supporter of family vloggers because I think showcasing the formative years of a child for the whole world to see is a little odd, and I don't find it interesting or entertaining to watch these videos, and I just always have this odd feeling of how the child would feel when they grow up and how it is a little invasive. not a little, quite invasive to the child's life. This video just solidified for me that there must be an emergent action to protect children from such exploitation. I don't know if this whole phenomenon can be eradicated at all, like completely put all the children out of social media. I don't know, but something has to be done to at least protect them. Now, moving on to some history content. I love history. I love listening about it, I love reading about it, and the abundance of dates and names and locations and everything, they just overwhelm my brain, so I don't have the capacity to worry about something when I'm listening to the historical videos. My brain chooses to focus on dates and names rather than the fact that I'm 20 years old and my biggest accomplishment is getting good grades. The first channel that I love to watch is See You in History / Mythology. It kind of merges history and mythology together, and it provides this historical context on how the different myths originated and in what context they existed. So the two videos that I enjoyed in particular was the best of Chinese mythology, legend, myths, gods and creatures of China, and the worst royal wedding nights in history. The delivery of content is very straightforward yet engaging, but I kind of got the vibe as if I was listening to a cartoon. I don't know, the content is definitely not cartoonish because it gets quite explicit at some points. But the delivery felt a little cartoonish to me, and it was just so simple to digest all this information, so I really enjoyed it. But another channel that takes a different approach to history and mythology is Briefed. As you can probably tell, I love theatrics. The delivery of content in these videos, let me just say, the Tumblr of theatrics is on. Although it doesn't come at the expense of the quality of content. You're basically just watching a very charismatic man telling you all these stories, and you can feel that he really researched this and worked on the structure so that it is coherent, who also happens to have a funny sense of humor. Yes, it is mostly millennial humor, but I enjoy it sometimes, okay? Let me live. My favorite video, it was actually published a while ago, but I only watched it recently, was The Sad Truth No One Talks About, Caligula. It was such a masterfully delivered story. All the right amount of information in the correct order that makes sense, that sounds coherent. It is easy to follow. Also, most of his videos are somehow related to each other. So after a certain point, when you have already watched a few, you kind of begin to feel like you're watching a course on, I don't know, Norse gods or Roman emperors. Now, just some honorary mentions. Some videos that I enjoyed, but they didn't impress me enough to go and like check out the creator. But they were still good, like they did their job of shutting my brain up. The first one is When a Daughter's Greatest Fear is Becoming Like Her Mother from MovieNotepad. It is pretty much in the name. It explores the complex mother-daughter dynamics in media with some case studies from, I remember it was Everything Everywhere All of the Time and Lady Bird and some other movie. Very interesting. I am writing this trope into my book, so I was watching this also from kind of like the research perspective. The second one is just the Wired series of videos where different experts answer questions that people posted on Reddit in regards to their area of expertise. Just a very fun way to learn some fun facts from a variety of different industries and fields, I don't know. Favorites this month were the Cold Dip Programmer one, kind of terrifying but also very interesting, and the Private Investigator one. I didn't know that you can like investigate someone when you're not a police officer, like a police worker. You can actually follow someone. It's like legal stalking. I don't know. That was odd but very interesting. 2010's pop music retrospective from Jukebox was also quite interesting, but also it was so funny because it made me realize just how much growing up in a different country makes you not understand some things. Some of the musicians and bands and creators who were discussed in this video as this like the discovery of the decade. They weren't popular in my home country. I had an idea who they were, but they weren't famous. So it is this like cultural difference that you experience when you move countries is astonishing. Last one is what was the worst year in human history by Joey Scott. Yes, it is the top 10 something type of video, but in this case, the top 3 worst years, I think it was 3, were explained very thoroughly and very nicely, and it all made sense, and it wasn't just a random collection of facts like they like to throw in these top 10 videos. So it all made sense, and learning about how people lived through those times kind of gives you hope that we're gonna be alright. This is all for now. It is obviously not everything that I watched because I spend 50% of my time, I believe, during the day just listening to YouTube videos, so there's plenty more. I am really looking forward to this growth in video essays creation and stuff because sometimes video essays is the only thing that supplies me with the ability to function like a proper person. But please remember, it is actually not the healthiest way to deal with stress and anxiety and overthinking. You actually do need to do some other work. It's good as a short-term solution. But in the long term, please don't be a Risha and actually solve your problems, okay? That's it for me. Thank you if you watched up to this point. Subscribe to my channel for more, at this point, just whatever I come up with content, okay? Bye bye.